Thank you so much for joining us for the webinar this afternoon. My name is Christine Odera, and I am Community Manager here at Ikigai, where my role is to provide support to the Ikigai team, those of us that take care of our members. Also on the webinar today is Stephanie from the Ikigai team, who takes care of our events and our marketing. I want to just move on to a few housekeeping items. First of all, the webinar is going to be recorded, and therefore this resource will be available to you after today, all right? And secondly, if you have any questions, I want to invite you to please type them in the chat box, and they'll be answered at the end of this presentation. All right, so as we begin, I'd like to introduce Ikigai Nairobi. Ikigai is a collective of well-focused, shared and private workspaces in Lavington, in Westlands, Lower Kabete, and very soon we're going to be opening on Riverside Drive at Merchant Square. We provide beautiful and safe work environments for individuals, for startups, for SMEs, creatives, and even corporates. Our membership take out the day-to-day hassle of running an office and are intentionally designed to be flexible to help you and your business stay agile in an ever-changing context. So if you'd like to know more about us, please visit our website for more information on our health and safety measures, our memberships, our locations, and how we can support your business. The web address is ikigai.co.ke. And so on to today's event. I know you'll all agree with me that 2020 was a challenging year for all businesses. Many businesses, us included, have had to re-strategize about how and when and where to interact with our customers and to shift operations to meet our customers where they are. This has meant focusing or putting an emphasis on online operations to meet customers with ease and at the right time. We have seen positive results by combining online and in-person interactions to navigate and to grow our business in the last couple of months. Our biggest takeaway from working with today's hosts, Flutterwave, to create systems that make it easier for us to operate online and in person in different spaces. So during today's session, Flutterwave is going to provide insights into how the technology available, including their own platform, demystifies and simplifies running a business online and with a physical presence. So without further ado, I want to invite Desi Mambili with Flutterwave. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Christine. It's a pleasure to be here today and also just be able to share my experiences and also make it a learning platform for everybody. Yeah, so I will just move straight ahead to introduce who Flutterwave is, what we do, and how we can be able to assist businesses move to the online space and also see how we can work together should it come to that point. So Flutterwave is a payment technology company focused in helping banks and businesses provide seamless and secure payment experiences for their customers, right? We actually do have offices here in Kenya, in Africa at large, and our main head office is in San Francisco, USA. So we are proud to be African global, not from east to the west, right? So ideally, we provide APIs that enable global companies such as TransferWise. We have guys like Uber, Netflix, all those global companies trying to get into the African space. We provide APIs for them to be able to work with the African team, which is really good, and it's something that we're very proud of. Given that it's an API, we try as much as possible to include all the African payment systems into one. And when we're providing this to you, we're providing it, making it for your business to be accessible across Africa. So ideally, with one single integration, you'll have access to payment methods, both cash in and cash out, in different countries in Africa. We're currently in 36 countries in Africa and still growing. So we are very proud of that. So I'll just share my screen so that I can just take you through what Flutterwave does, and how moving forward we can be able to assist each other. Sorry about that. Can you see my screen? All right, so let's just dive in. Like I mentioned, we at Flutterwave tried to start up with a way that will be able to provide payment services across Africa and to the rest of the world. Ideally, when we started, we looked at the market and tried to see what can we do to assist, especially guys in the US, Europe areas who were trying to move money from those areas to Africa. It was such a big issue, and the reason why we actually started Flutterwave. So right now we are able to provide you with an end-to-end payment gateway that will enable you to not only move funds across Africa, but also allow you and your business to make payments through the service itself. We can also provide you with a white label solution whereby we give you our we give you our payment gateway, and you can be able to use it as your own. So ideally, rename it into Ikigai, let's say, for example, and utilize it as Ikigai, and voila, you have your own payment gateway. Apart from that, all our payments are real time. So if you have transaction that is supposed to be done either through M-Pesa or maybe a bank transfer, then when you're using Flutterwave, we've partnered with all these MNOs, mobile network operators, banks across Africa and the world across. So to make it easy for you to be able to do business online. So ideally, apart from being real time, if your payment has been done today and you are expecting this transaction, if the country itself, or let me say, if the market itself allows for such real-time payments, then of course Flutterwave will be there to ensure we give you the support and kind of business that you're expecting. Now, if you look at transactions in, let's say, Africa, what was happening prior is that we have things like RTGS, we have EFTs, and SWIFT payments that normally take between 3 hours, that is for RTGS, and 2 days to 1 week to just receive payments. So what Flutterwave has done, we've partnered with so many banks across the world, whereby if your instruction is sent in through the Flutterwave platform, we'll be able to give you that service in either within seconds, which is real time, or the latest within 2 or 3 hours, which makes it very convenient for anybody who's doing business online, because we want to cash in, be able to buy in more, what do you call it? You buy in more stock and be able to use your stock online. So it kind of facilitates your business and ensures that you're always at par and you don't miss out of any opportunity. The good thing about our platform is that we give it to you at a very low running business cost. Right now, if you were to join Flutterwave, then all your transactions, integration fees, maintenance fees are all scrapped off. So ideally, you're operating at zero infrastructure cost. The only thing that Flutterwave does is the only charges that we take is on the transaction fee, which is very convenient for most businesses. So making it very easy for you to move your business online. The other thing is that you have access to a dashboard that is fully operated and you can manage it on your own. So ideally making it very easy for you to move your business online and work from any point in time, especially at this time when COVID hits and we're looking at businesses that we've been facilitating over a period, and most of the customers are also trying to see how can we improve this business. So ideally moving into the Flutterwave platform makes it very easy for you. So we are, just to look at our reach, we have, like I mentioned, around 36 countries in Africa, including West, South, Central, and East Africa. We have partnered with a lot of mobile money operating networks, such as MTN, Tigo, M-Pesa, Vodafone, to be able to facilitate mobile money in such countries where mobile money is accepted. In areas where mobile money is not the trend, we also have we've partnered with banks to be able to do direct debits from your bank account into your business accounts directly without any delays. We've also partnered with Visa, MasterCard, Diners Club, Valve, to be able to facilitate the different kind of cards that are out there, the card schemes that are out there in the world right now. So with that, it gives you 360 kind of view and also access to any type of payment that you need to do. We are accepted in across the world. We are currently handling very big major businesses like Uber, Netflix. In Kenya, we have guys like Zucchini. We have Copia Group. We have Street Hub University. We have Matunwa Hills Camp. All the guys that you can think of who are doing businesses online, we definitely you'll find Flutterwave among the payment methods. So and currently we are also connected with Pestalink for both collections and payouts. So definitely making it very easy for your business to receive payments instantly. So just to move on and to also show you how can we enable your businesses to move online. So we all know about the pandemic that hit us back in 2020. It's weird that we can actually say it was last year, because it just feels like it's still here, right? So what we looked at is we saw the opportunity and the stress that most of our merchants had. People who were trying to, SMEs especially, who are trying to sell, but then due to the pandemic, they had to close down shops, and of course it means that you cannot generate any revenue. That like really hit us hard, and we looked at how can we be able to assist these merchants and these businesses to bring them online and see their revenues growing. So we came up with the Flutterwave store. Flutterwave store is quite simple, very easy to launch and also manage. So ideally, what it does is that it gives you a platform to put in all your merchandise. If you're selling shoes, if you're selling let's say you're selling pots and anything, basically anything, services like manicure, pedicures, you can still set them up on your Flutterwave store, have everything there. You get it together with the payment gateway at no cost at all. So ideally, it allows you to list all your products, upload images in different sizes. You can also be able to set up goals that you want to achieve. You can be able to see how much is in your store, basically manage your manage your goods in a way that you don't get in any other market. So we slashed off the pricing and we enabled our customers to be able to have this instantly without any cost in infrastructure. So that was one of the things that we tried to see that we can help our merchants with to come online. So why would you want to bring your business on the store, like on the Flutterwave store? Because it's simple, it is designed to bring your business online as opposed to you continuing to have your business offline. So it gives you the security of having your business continuity, even with the pandemic or any other thing that might hit the platform, can hit you either economically, geographically. It also allows you just to have the continuity of your business. We have also enabled, apart from it being free, we have also tried as much as possible to partner with businesses that will enable it in a way that just makes you sit at home and watch as money comes in. Because one of the things we've done is that we've partnered with guys like Sandy, we've partnered with, we are in partnership in different areas with guys like DHL to be able to do the local deliveries. We're still working with the demand that has come with it. We're working on how we can do cross-country and across the world deliveries as well. So, but for now, you can be able to get all the deliveries, your charges, manage your store, all in one platform, which is really good for your store and for your business right now. So how does it work? Basically, you just sign up. Once you sign up, then you get access to your dashboard. You set up your dashboard, put up your products. Once you have put up your products, mention the amounts, describe the products, very easy, very quick. And once you do that, then you're done. You just push your store online and everybody will be able to have it and see it on your store. So to set up, it's quite easy. I'll share the link on the chat at the end of this video, at the end of this webinar. And then from there, you can be able to either reach out to me or anybody in Ikigai. They will be able to assist you to bring you on board on the Flutterwave store. So anybody, literally anybody can be able to use the Flutterwave store. We have from service to physical to buy to goods, physical goods. You can have guys selling bottles, you can have guys selling shoes, you can have clothes, anything that you're selling online, will be able to use it on the Flutterwave store. You can also have maybe pedicures, massage, anything that you need or whatever your business is, you can be able to set it up on your Flutterwave store. Just with the description, you can see the name of the business, you can put it your logo, and you have access to the store itself. So what this has done also is to enable your customers, you know, the way you have selling goods, especially guys who use Instagram and Facebook, you have to send and say DM for price. So we're trying to eliminate that DM for price. So it gives you a call to action on your platform itself, on the platform itself. So making it very easy for your customers. You just collect the payment and get an email for delivery, send the products out, and you'll be able to continue with your business. So some of the benefits among what I've mentioned previously, we have the brand visibility. So something that Flutterwave is really pushing on is to focus on our own customers. By focusing means we give you capability to share our platform, from social media to our blogs to the website. So we normally take up some of the brands or some of the shops that are on our Flutterwave store and expose them in our social medias, YouTube, blogs, just to be able to see how best we can help the customers push the brand out there and also boost your activities. The other thing is that you don't have to get a website. So it's a setup done complete. You don't really have to get developers, incur costs in development or infrastructure fees. The only cost is on the transactional fee. It also allows your products to be listed in sizes, weight, color differently, very easily. It's basically an e-commerce platform that comes in for free without any charges. Looking at some of the some of these companies or e-commerce platforms that are giving, you have to pay a commission on it apart from the transaction fee, which is something we saw ideally doesn't bring you or try to make your business prosper to some extent, because there's a lot too much costs that come with the business, making you charge your customers quite high just to be able to bring that margin down. And ideally, we sat down and thought we want a partnership with our customers. So ideally, try as much as possible to reduce the cost of doing business for them and also see how to boost your transactions. It comes with an integrated delivery system whereby you can add your delivery. You can either manage your own delivery if you already have maybe let's say motorbikes, or you already have an already working system. You can just manage it on your own, or if you don't, you can also utilize the Flutterwave system. The other thing is that you have different payment methods, different payment options. In Kenya, we have M-Pesa, you have Pay with Bank through PesaLink, and we also have Airtel Money. You can also pay through cards. So depending on the market and the currency that you're trying to receive, then it gives you opportunities in different markets. Then you can also have the local and international card acceptance and an inbuilt fraud management solution, whereby I should have mentioned this before. So Flutterwave is a PCI DSS validated and currently certified with the PCI DSS company, meaning that all the transactions passing through Flutterwave are highly checked and are also genuine, making it very easy for you and for your customers to ensure that you can get trusted payments coming through your system. So I don't know, ideally we just try as much as possible to be in the middle and ensure that your transactions are secure as possible. And any person who is trying to use cards on your system can be able to use them securely as well. So in Kenya, all our transactions pass through the 3D system, whereby it's a double check. Once you put in your card details, you verify through your bank from the OTP that is sent by your bank, just to ensure that the person who is utilizing your card is actually the owner of the card, which has really done us very well in this market, especially. And we try as much as possible to implement the same standards across board. So like I mentioned, there is really no setup fee. The only cost that will incur is the transaction fee, which is at 2.9 for local transactions and 3.5 for foreign transactions. This is actually a knockoff at this point, because normally we charge, the normal charge for international payments is at 3.8. But for anybody coming on board today or through the Ikigai platform, we'll be able to give it to you at 3.5%. So the other thing that Flutterwave would be proud of is on the settlements period. We've seen a lot of the PSPs in Africa and in Kenya. The payment period or the settlement period, once your transactions have been done on the platform, comes at 7 to 14 days. But Flutterwave, we pride ourselves to enable businesses and ensure that your settlements are in between 1 to 2 days. So ideally, you can be able to buy new stock and continue have business continuity even as you proceed. Uh, as you proceed. So yeah, like I mentioned, there's no more DM for price and stop sending your account details to people. Ideally, it just tries to put you up in a way that you have everything on the go. Your customers don't have to come back calling and asking for support. So it's just straight up business, whereby you just put up your products online and get it. At the end of the day, you get your money. So yeah, like I mentioned, I'll share the links for setup and the next steps on the platform, on the chat, and then from there we can be able to proceed. So you have the APIs, you can see more information on the YouTube and our other Flutterwave platforms, and also have access to see how the dashboard will look like. Yeah, ideally, that's it from me. I'll be able to welcome any questions in case there are any, and then let me push it back to the Ikigai team.
Okay, hi, thank you so much for joining us today. Desi, thank you for a great presentation. We actually had a few questions come in. So this is from one of our attendees, and she's asking if Flutterwave can be used to sell online courses on platforms like Udemy and Thinkify and others. Have you tried that integration before, and what has that been like?
All right, so we do have two different products. One is the Flutterwave store, the other one is Flutterwave for Business. So depending on if you already have a website and you're already selling this, then ideally what we will do, we'll give you Flutterwave for Business, whereby we just give you our payment gateway to install on your website, and you can proceed from there. But if you don't have the website itself, then ideally the Flutterwave store can also be used to sell your courses. We've also partnered with Zidi. Zidi is one of the guys who work together with Udemy currently, and they actually collect their payments through Flutterwave. The other thing is that we have courses and guys in universities in the US who are currently using some of the Flutterwave products currently. So ideally, yes, you can be able to use Flutterwave for your education platforms.
Great. Another question we had is about the case study that you mentioned with Zucchini. What has that process been like, and what exactly went into helping them transition from a solely physical storefront to actually having an online presence?
Okay, well, the most reason why Zucchini would actually try to bring their business online, it was based on the fact that during the pandemic, especially around March to June, July, there was nothing being done. Like the business was not moving. We had so many products, especially with guys dealing with agriculture, fruits, vegetables, and all. Those guys were going at a loss, heavy loss because of the pandemic. You can only do deliveries. But most of these big companies and we have guys like Baysan, guys like Zucchini, guys, and some few other companies that are dealing with vegetables on the Flutterwave platform. The main reason was, how can I ensure continuity of my business, right? So moving them online was quite easy. The integration literally takes, if you have your own website, it literally takes less than a week, so long as your developers are at par. But then with our own Flutterwave store, it's just up for you to load your transactions, load your products on the store, and move on. Just pushing the transactions online, right? So ideally, it doesn't take much. The only thing, of course, we have to ensure that we are dealing with the correct people. So there will be some validations done on the type of company that we're dealing with. So you provide things like the carrier PIN, the director's PIN, basically details that you would provide normally when you're opening a bank account. So once that validation is done, you'll be good to go. There's nothing big on the Flutterwave store that would stop you from transacting or moving online.
Okay, so just a follow-up question on what you just mentioned. How long does the validation process take?
So validation takes, it's within 48 hours. Once the transaction, once the documents, in fact, when you're logging in or when you're signing up, there's a part that asks you to share the documents. Once you share those documents within 48 hours, you should be able to get a response from us telling you either if we need more documentations, or if your account is okay and we can move on with it, then yes. So within 48 hours, you should be able to get a response from us.
Okay, great. I think, and this is a great question about security. And I know it's something that a lot of people are thinking about when they think about going online and that process. So a question is, does the client pay before or after delivery? And how does Flutterwave ensure that the seller and the buyer do not con each other?
All right. So the buyer pays before the delivery. Flutterwave only submits the payment to the seller once they have confirmed on the platform that they have finalized on the transaction, or rather they've done the delivery. We also have a system on the chargebacks. Should a customer come complaining that they paid for a good and for some goods or services and they've not received it, so Flutterwave takes it very seriously to ensure, well, it starts with at the point of signing up. Like I mentioned, we have to know who we are doing the businesses with, right? So if such a complaint comes on board, then we'll definitely reach out to this merchant. And at the same time, it's a point lost on the merchant's platform. So we can either block so that nothing like that will happen the next time, or we can just simply start doing business with this customer or this merchant in this case. But ideally, I haven't, so far so good. I haven't seen any customer complaining about that. But our offices, yeah, it's obvious. We are at Ikigai, you can always drop in. And we also have our numbers, support numbers that you can reach out to us. But ideally, we haven't seen any of our merchants or merchants customers complaining about not receiving goods that they've paid for.
Okay, great. That's very reassuring, and I think a lot of the attendees agree. So one other question is about the cost to have it integrated into one's website or to use Flutterwave directly. What is that process like, and how much would they need to pay for that?
Okay, so I will insist again, there's no cost to integration. There's no support fee. There's no maintenance fee. The only cost that is there or involved with the Flutterwave platform is the transactional fee. And the good thing about the transactional fee, you can either push it to your end user or the business itself can take it. So if the business is charging 1,000 shillings for a pair of slippers, let's say, for example, and the business has decided to take up the transactional cost, so we'll charge the merchant 1,000 shillings and deposit into the merchant's account 1,000 minus 29. That is 2.9% of the 1,000 shillings. I think I'm correct. I'm not so good in math, but yeah, so ideally we'll give you less the percentage. But if the customer is, if the merchant has decided that this transaction fee is being moved to the end user, then we will charge the customer 1,000 plus 29 and then deposit 1,000 shillings into your account. So maybe I should just mention at this point, there are also two different ways that you can receive your money. you can either manage your settlements in our Flutterwave wallet, or if you need it to go directly into your bank account, you also provide the bank account details on the dashboard, and we'll be able to push the funds directly into your bank account.
Okay, fantastic. Another question for you is how long has Flutterwave been operating? And specifically, I think the individual platforms like Flutterwave Store that you had mentioned earlier.
Okay, so Flutterwave started back in 2016. This is our fourth year, but we've grown quite fast and we are proud of that. For the Flutterwave store, we actually started it in last year. We launched it in April after the pandemic hit, and most of our merchants were crying out on why can't we provide something that they will utilize, because the charges of trying to build a website was quite high. Getting developers, website itself, managing all that was quite a heavy price on our merchants. So we launched this in 2016 just to be able to support our merchants in this case. Yeah.
Great. And I think even for us, it's been a very impactful way for us to keep our business afloat and just meet our customers where they are. So we have amazing other questions coming in. So one other one is it mandatory for the merchant to have a registered business name or company, or can they just produce their personal KRA PIN?
So we have three categories of businesses that we look at. We do understand that there's some guys who just have their own businesses, especially on Instagram, Facebook, and the likes, and they're not registered businesses. So you can sign up as an individual. However, an individual will not get access to the Flutterwave store because this it basically requires you to have a business, either a sole proprietorship or a limited company, to be able to get the Flutterwave store. With that, on the individual account for Flutterwave, you'll be able to utilize the payment links and use it on either your social media platforms or where you're selling your merchandise from, and it will still give you the same, almost the same capabilities that a Flutterwave account will give you, or even a Flutterwave store. The only difference is that you won't have the e-commerce platform. But yes, ideally you can sign up as an individual and still be able to run your business online.
Just to follow up on that, have you had individuals sign up and then transition? Can you grow from being an individual without a registered business to now having Flutterwave store on your platform at the same time?
Of course. Guys like Besan. So Besan started up as a delivery. You know these guys who come on your door and say, "Oh, I'm selling. I have nyanya. I have some few vegetables here that I'm selling. Would you like some?" And then, especially during COVID, you now cannot knock on people's doors because ideally, what can I do, right? So he signed up on the Flutterwave store, not store. He signed up as an individual, and tried to the customers that he had already built up with. You now ask how much do you want for tomorrow? I'll deliver it this day, and like that. And he used the payment links on the Flutterwave platform to be able to collect his revenues, right? We've seen him grow to having a registered business account right now because the transactions were actually flowing, and he's grown. Right now he has a business. He upgraded his account, Flutterwave account, to a business account and got access to the Flutterwave store. So once he got access to the Flutterwave store, we've seen him grow because of the visibility that we've given him, and he's getting more and more customers every day. So he's getting, instead of just utilizing one community where he was selling his products, he's also moved out to the outskirts, like entire Nairobi region, where he's able to do the deliveries. So yeah, ideally you can grow from just having an individual account to having a more functional space. Yeah.
Great. Okay, another question for you is, can the cost be shared between the customer and the merchant? For example, if you pay 3,000 Kenya shillings to a till number, the cost, which is 87 shillings, would it be free to the customer and the merchant can only pay 15? For either party, that's pretty high. Is it possible to share the cost between the two instead of having one party take the cost?
Um, Ideally, for now, no. It can only be either or, but that's a good suggestion. We can set it up with our engineers and see if it's something we can viably do. Just have a split cost. But for now, no. It's either the business takes it up or the individual takes it up. But I should mention this, especially if you're paying with M-Pesa or mobile money. We've taken up, as Flutterwave, we've taken up all the costs. So if you're sending money into the Flutterwave pay bill, you will not be charged on the 27 shillings or the Safaricom charges. Basically you'll not take up the Safaricom charges. The only charge that you'll take up is the Flutterwave charge. So I think that is one of the things we were trying to see, how can we make it simpler. But thank you for the suggestion. I've taken the point. I'll be able to see if we can be able to do the split payments.
Great. I think you even just hinted at our next question. So how does Flutterwave compare to other e-commerce or payment platforms like M-Pesa and online card payments? And are there benefits of using Flutterwave over these platforms, and what would those be?
So how do I put it? M-Pesa is something that started in Kenya and has proudly been set up in Kenya, right? However, M-Pesa just gives you a platform whereby only Safaricom users will be able to access your payment gateway. Having Flutterwave or a payment provider gives you a hassle-free kind of way of having to move into Safaricom, give me a pay bill, go to Equitel or go to Airtel, go to Pesalink, any bank, trying to have all these things together in one spot, right, on your platform. So with one integration on Flutterwave, you have access to all the payment methods, right? You also have access to the rest of the world. Because if you have, let's say, a business selling shoes here in Nairobi, and some of your customers have guys in the US, UK, or Rwanda, let's even not go far, in Uganda and the likes, and they would like to pay for someone here in Kenya. Let's say you have a boyfriend and he's living outside Kenya and you're living here. So they can easily pay for your goods, even through M-Pesa, in here in Kenya, and you'll be able to receive it. So ideally, having a payment platform is good because it integrates all the different payment methods and gives you access to the rest of the world, as opposed to just having one payment method that customers will be like, okay, I can't pay through this, so now I can't buy anything from your shop, so I'll just have to go, Ideally, that's what we're trying to eliminate.
Great. I like that it's a global thing and you're not limited to your geolocation. So another question for you is, what type of businesses can use the platform? If you're an event company, does Flutterwave cater to that, or are there certain limitations to different features?
So I'll put it in this way. Flutterwave can cater to any business at any point in time, just not businesses that the government has stated are not illegal, but they're not regulated. Things like betting and the likes, we definitely do not want to take up that space. However, for any other type of business, if you're a lawyer and you're expecting payments, if you're consulting and you're expecting payments, if you're an events company and you're expecting payments, Flutterwave will be able to cater for you. For the events, I would also like to add, we do have our own events company that comes together with the business platform on the Flutterwave for business. So you'll be able to generate your own event, set it up, and generate tickets, and people can be able to pay through your platform to your event directly to your bank account, depending if you have decided the payments should go to your bank or maintain them on the Flutterwave wallet. So ideally, if you do sign up on Flutterwave, what it gives you a range and a wide set of products that you can be able to utilize, from sending money across Africa and the world, to collecting payments, to managing your own events, to doing your own invoices and sending it out to your partners, to sending money to partners or paying suppliers. You get everything on the Flutterwave platform. So yeah, ideally for any business that you have in mind, Flutterwave will be able to cater for it. Just with the disclaimer, so long as it's part and parcel of the regulated businesses in Kenya. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a great point to mention. So another question about the splitting costs. Who caters for delivery once the seller and the buyer agree, or should it be added to the total cost of the product on the platform?
It's normally added to the total cost on the product. So if you have, or rather, if you're using Flutterwave platform and we've set the delivery across 10 kilometers range will be, let's say 200 shillings, then it will be added on top of the total fee that your customer is paying. So the full amount will be set to us. If you are managing your own delivery and your delivery cost is 200, you can also set it up on the Flutterwave platform. And so if your good is 500 and your delivery charge is 300, so we'll send you the total of 800 minus the transaction fee. So you can do it both sides. We'll definitely add the delivery fee on top of the transaction fee.
Great. So another question for you is, you had mentioned if you had a website, you can integrate Flutterwave onto your site. What does that process look like, and can it be done by anyone, or would you need to bring on a web developer to kind of install everything for you?
If you're an IT person, yes, you can be able to do it yourself. But if you do have developers, because Flutterwave will only give you support in areas where you need it. However, it's basically just support. We will not do the integration for you. So ideally, you need to have your own developers if you already have a website. But there's no cost to it on the Flutterwave side. The process is quite easy. Once you sign up, you give us the registration documentation, the carrier PIN, and the likes. Within 48 hours, we give you back we give you back feedback. You start doing your integration with your developers, but it's something that can take up to less than a week. You should be done. And the good thing is that you can integrate with different plugins that are there in the market, like the WooCommerce, Shopify, and the likes. So yeah, in terms of development and integration, it should be a quick and steady kind of integration.
Okay, so a follow-up question to what you just mentioned. In terms of support, other than just providing the platform, what other support does Flutterwave provide business owners and anybody using their platform? Yes, you're on mute.
Sorry, we try as much as possible to bring on board customers and treat them not as customers, but as partners, right? So in this regard, we try to push your business through our blogs, through our social media. We partner with you. So in terms of just giving you support, however we can, if you need strategies on how to push your business to the core and increase revenue, will also be there to support you with some of the ideas that we have. So yeah, it's basically an all-round trying to just be partners as opposed to just a customer and business relationship.
Lovely. Great. So I think the other thing is just in terms of resources. So kindly share the link with our participants in the chat bot. If you have any other questions, we have a few minutes to spare, so please do send them over. Uh, Once again, thank you so much for joining us for today's session. We are so happy to have you, and thank you, Desi, for an amazing presentation. So I think we'll just take a few more questions before we close. One of them is, what has been the impact of Flutterwave Store and other e-commerce platforms for businesses trying to adapt during the pandemic?
The impact has been huge. We've seen a lot of businesses coming in online, and even as things have kind of cooled down right now, it still gives you a two-way platform to be able to get merchants or customers on your platform, right? You can still have the physical store and run the online store without any hassle. So ideally, it has given an additional kind of customer base to most of the businesses that have joined us in this pandemic period. So yeah, it's has a very big impact for these customers.
Okay, our final question for the session is, how much maintenance, or do you need a team to maintain the site for you once you've kind of taken it off the platform to integrate it into your own website? Or is that something that Flutterwave provides as part of the services and the package that they offer businesses?
We do maintain our services on our end. And if there's any update that needs to be done, it will automatically be pushed. So you don't have to get into, there's no costs in the maintenance of it, unless you have any improvement on your own website and you needed something. Let's say if you are not on the WooCommerce platform and we've now integrated with WooCommerce and now you need an update on the how integration was done, then that will be on your end. But ideally on our side, we do, if there are any maintenance that comes in, then we'll do it on our end and push it as a service.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Desi, for your time and for facilitating today's session. Before we close, if you can just have everybody write one takeaway from the session in the chat bot or in the Q&A section that they would like to share with us. Please do write what you've learned from the session. I know I've definitely learned a lot from Desi and how to use the online platform. Desi, also on your end, if you could just give us one quick parting shot before we close, please do share with us.
Well, I would encourage, I'm assuming most of the guys here are, for those who are not part of Ikigai, they should come and enjoy the offices. They're really good. But then in terms of business, online business, I would encourage you to push. It's quite easy. I would encourage you to push your business online. It gives you more range of customers. It gives you visibility on what is going on around Africa, Kenya as a whole, and Africa. It also gives you the opportunity to learn more and see where opportunities are and what you can do about it. So I would encourage everybody who's doing their own businesses to try and push their transactions online. For that, it will open up your mind and your thinking and increase revenue in one way or another.
Okay,
but yeah,
fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think that's a great note to conclude our session on. That brings us to the end of today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Desi, Flutterwave, and the team at Ikigai for putting this together. It has been lovely learning from all of you and just hearing your different perspectives. Desi, it's been lovely learning about the platform and everything that you have to share with us. I think one there's one more comment about how the future is digital. I could not agree more. So thank you so much. We'll be sharing the recording from today's session with you. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself, Desi, Christine, or the team at Ikigai. Would be happy to answer any questions that you have. It has been a pleasure hosting you all, and we hope that you will join us for our next event. We have a fantastic lineup of events happening in February about cybersecurity and the digital tax service. So please do join us for that discussion. It is one that you will not want to miss out on. If you want to know more about what's happening at Ikigai, you can find us on our website at ikigai.co.ke, or you can sign up for our newsletter to learn more about our upcoming events and other activities happening at Ikigai. So we hope to see you soon, both in person and on our online platforms. So have a lovely evening, and thank you once again so much for joining us.